The battle for Bihar, and we are here with Chirag Paswan, for whom this has been quite a turbulent journey. That at a time when he was also parting ways, in a sense, with the NDA, was also a moment of great personal tragedy. Chirag, thank you so much for talking to us, and deepest condolences. Very, very sorry to hear the news about your father. We saw, I don't want to dwell too much on that, but we did see what a challenge it was for you, because there was all this political turmoil going on. You also had to go through the last rites of your father, and in fact, at that point, you became very emotional. I think you almost fainted in grief. So that must have been.
Well, actually, yes. I mean, I think yes, it was very tough, and I do miss him a lot. And I think no one can ever be prepared for a situation like this. But to be very honest, right now, I was just not prepared. I mean, right in the middle of everything that you said, elections right there, and him not being around. He was my pillar of strength. He was my biggest strength. Just by the virtue that I'm having his back, I could fight the world, and I was doing that actually, and I'll continue to do that. Having said that, not that anything has made me weak. I continue to get the strength from him only, and I have to fulfill all his dreams. And this was one of his biggest dreams.
That what?
That the party should contest alone. And he actually used to instigate me, he used to tell me that in 2005, I took this decision and I could do that. You are young, why are you not taking the decision?
He used to instigate you?
Yes, he used to instigate me, and he used to tell me that you must contest alone, and that's how, the party will strengthen, the party will spread. And
that's interesting you say that, because the impression that one has been getting from the BJP after you sort of split ranks is that it was actually your decision, and that had he been
around,
then it wouldn't
things would have been different. Yeah. That's the kind of narrative even I hear people setting up. But to be honest, whomsoever met him, right before he went to the hospital, Nityanand Rai ji was there.
Senior BJP leader.
Yes, senior BJP leader, MOS Ministry, Home Ministry.
Yes.
And Nityanand Rai ji had a long conversation with him. So did Sreenivasan Hussain ji, the national spokesperson of Bharatiya Janata Party. So did Ram Yadav ji. So yes, all these people who met him in between that phase, like I'm just talking about like within 3 months from now, whomsoever had a conversation with him. So he was very clear with his thought, and he told me very categorically that if today, because of you, the current Chief Minister continues to be the Chief Minister of our state for another 5 years, you will be regretting it 10 years, 15 years down the line, that because of you, the state had to suffer for another 5 years. So he was very clear with his thought. This is what he said.
I see. So he felt that if, because of your help, Nitish Kumar continues, it would be a disaster for Bihar. This was Ram Vilas later. These were his words.
These were his words, yeah.
Wow.
He was very clear, and to be very honest, yes, he was the one who pushed me here.
To take this step.
To take this step, yes.
But explain, Chirag, a little bit the logic behind this step, because it's still something we're getting to talk to you for the first time, of what went behind it. Because one view, as you've heard, is that this was actually done in tandem with the BJP. The BJP was very well aware that you were doing this, and they were not averse to it. Is that true?
Well, they were aware about it. I don't know whether they were averse about it or not, but they were aware about it. I told them everything. I met Amit Shah ji, and before taking the decision of contesting alone and having my candidates
in Delhi.
Yeah, in Delhi, and I had repeated meetings with Bharatiya Janata Party National President JP Nadda ji also. And right from day one, let me make this very clear, because repeatedly it's been said that Lok Janshakti Party and Chirag Paswan especially is doing pressure politics to get more number of seats and demanding more number of seats and stuff. Let me make this very clear and very categorically clear on record that never ever I had any discussion over the seat sharing. Number of seats, I never ever had a discussion with any Bharatiya Janata Party leader. My discussion was always about having my agenda, making the part of the common minimum program. Bihar first, Bihari first, becoming the part of the common minimum program.
So whenever you met Amit Shah ji and JP Nadda ji, you never discussed numbers?
Numbers, never.
It was just to include this, your agenda, into the program?
Ji.
Okay. But then what happened? The agenda was
not included.
Then what triggered the...
Then I think a day after our meeting or 2 days after our meeting, I heard on one of the national channels, Nitish Kumar ji announcing Sat Nishchay Part 2.
Right. This is his 7 promises.
Yes, 7 promises.
He done 7 promises earlier.
This is not his. This is actually Mahagathbandhan's 7 promises, which he continues in the NDA government as well.
Right.
So this was drafted during Mahagathbandhan Sarkar formed in 2015 with Rajad and Congress. So that was the time the Sat Nishchay agenda was drafted, and he continued it in NDA government also. And I have no belief in this agenda, because this is not what this is not the agenda which will take Bihar to the next level, or this is not the agenda which will actually get development in Bihar. This is his personal agenda that he is working on.
So the moment you heard that, you decided?
Yes, I decided, yeah.
To break.
Yeah.
So when you decided to break, and you were saying you were in touch with Amit Shah ji throughout this, so you were making him aware of what was going on. What was his response?
Well, I was not awaiting for his response, and to be honest, it wasn't that, we sat across the table and I was breaking this news to him that, this is what I'm going to do. I met him once and I told him, I said, I know, sir, it's going to be difficult for you because the number of seats that you yourself going to get to contest, it won't be possible for you to incorporate me in that. I just want to know that whether is it possible for you to incorporate my agenda in the upcoming government in Bihar. And if not, then allow me to take this call. I want to fight on all the seats where Janata Dal United candidates are fighting, and allow me to do that. And he was he was quiet on that. He didn't say nothing on it.
He didn't say don't do it.
No, he didn't say nothing on it, to be honest.
Achha.
And
but did he seem interested at the idea that you were planning something like this?
Well, how do I say that? I mean, I don't know. I wasn't reading him.
Okay.
I was just telling him that what I felt.
And he was quiet. He was
quiet. He was listening to it. And then uske baad, the next day I hear Nitish Kumar ji announcing Sat Nishchay Part 2.
Now, finally, when you broke and then you informed him.
No, after that I didn't call him.
After that you didn't call him. You just went and you made your announcement.
Yeah.
But Chirag, isn't this a very odd situation where on one hand you're saying that you feel Mr. Nitish Kumar has been a disaster and you think the BJP is a party you want to support. But the BJP itself is supporting Mr. Nitish Kumar. They don't agree with you.
Absolutely fine. Let them support. No issues. No issues with that. My belief is with the Prime Minister. I know he has delivered in the past 6 years. And in the state, I mean, I appreciate them because this was one announcement they made way back that Nitish Kumar ji he'll be leading the elections and he'll be the face of the election and everything. So they said way back, and then in between Corona phase came and the lockdown happened and everything happened, and I'm happy that they stuck to their commitment that they did way back.
How do you explain that? This is Prime Minister that you admire so much.
Why do I need to explain anything?
No, he seems to think Mr. Nitish Kumar is doing a great job.
Absolutely fine.
Okay.
I don't think so. I am an individual. Please allow me to be an individual, and please allow me to have the ideologies of my own political party. I have a different constitution of my party. My ideologies are different. Not necessarily we need to be on the same page. But then yes, my belief is on our Prime Minister. And I really want a double engine ki sarkar in our Pradesh. But double engine ki sarkar in the true sense of it, a BJP-led government in the center and a BJP-led government in the state.
Okay, so you want the BJP to lead here.
Ji.
So by contesting against the JDU, is that the strategy, that you damage Nitish Kumar to the extent that he will not have enough numbers?
Ji.
Is that's the idea?
Yeah, of course I want to damage him.
Okay, so you want to damage him.
I don't want to see him as the Chief Minister again. I'll be very honest, I don't want to see him the Chief Minister.
Okay, so even if he is damaged, if his seats come down, BJP is saying ki jo bhi ho jaye, even if Mr. Nitish Kumar's seats are less than ours, we will still be...
Even if the numbers are less. Even if the numbers are less. Yeah.
You don't think that's going to happen?
Let's cross the bridge when it comes. I think it's too early. It's too hypothetical right now. I don't know how much numbers will he be getting. I don't know how much numbers will I be getting. But one thing that I know for sure, that Nitish Kumar ji becoming the Chief Minister of our state again doesn't look possible. Okay,
so suppose his numbers come down, your assumption is that therefore the BJP will then, there will be a BJP Chief Minister.
Yeah. I want a BJP-led government.
And
I want that.
Who should lead that? Will it be Sushil Kumar Modi?
Why should I answer all the questions?
No, but because you got very strong views on Nitish Kumar and his government. So maybe you'll have a view on the BJP as well.
No, I've got a strong view about Nitish Kumar ji. I've got a strong view that it should be a BJP-led government.
Who leads
BJP
it?
Define. Yeah,
who leads it in the BJP? Yes. You're not bothered.
It doesn't matter.
It has to be the BJP. But Chirag, the sort of view here is that you've in a sense burnt your bridges, because you have gone and said you will damage Nitish Kumar, but the JDU says, the NDA in fact says that you are punching above your weight. You don't have that kind of vote percentage base here in Bihar. It's only a 5-6% vote share. With that, how can you attempt to damage anybody?
Time will tell, na bhai. Let's wait. And I think by raising such questions or by giving such statements, I think we are questioning the intelligence of Biharis. Okay. Let's not do that. Let's wait for the time. It's hardly like what, 20 days more? 20?
No, I know.
Let's wait for that.
But I'm saying this is just statistics. Like these have been the LJP's numbers throughout, that it's always been at that level. So,
because we have always contested on less than 50 seats. In 2005, when Papa contested on 150 plus seats, so it's almost around 175 seats, that he contested in 2005. And that time our vote percentage was 12.5%. And that's exactly what he wants me to do now. He wants me to increase the vote percentage. He wants the party to spread more. So, and yes, I'm very confident that this time my vote percentage definitely will be much higher.
So you think then, therefore, you can do serious damage to the JDU with this, if this is what happens, that's if you claim. And there is no plan for you to become Chief Minister?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And let me say this, because this is where everything starts, and they say that I'm being over ambitious and I'm spreading my leg out of
all this because all this to become Chief Minister. That's what is being said.
Yeah. So let me say this very, very clearly, that I'm not the Chief Ministerial candidate. I'm not the face of for the Chief Minister race in this election, and I'll support a Bharatiya Janata Party Chief Minister in the coming government.
That's
my take. Yeah.
There's no question of Chirag Paswan becoming Chief Minister.
Not at all.
At least for now.
Not at all.
But down the line?
Down the line, again, as I said, we'll cross the bridge when it comes.
But Chirag, tell me that you are out of the NDA. Have you accepted that?
Why out of the NDA? Who decides what is NDA? Who decides? Nitish Kumar ji decides what is NDA.
No, the BJP itself is saying that
How?
LJP is not in the NDA.
Am I not the part of the government at the central level? I mean, my father is no more today, but till the time he was there, everything was out and open. Was he asked to resign? Was he thrown out of the cabinet? So who decides what is NDA?
So you
let me say this very clearly. Nitish Kumar ji repeatedly say that we are the original NDA, right? Let me say this on record that Nitish Kumar ji left the alliance on the name of our current Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. In 2014, when he became the face for the Prime Minister candidate from NDA, he left the alliance. He was definitely the part of the alliance in that era of Atal ji and Advani ji. But when the new era of Bharatiya Janata Party came into the picture with Narendra Modi ji and Amit Shah ji and JP Nadda ji, he left the alliance on their name. And now he came back just to become the Chief Minister again. Overnight, he changed the alliance from Mahagathbandhan. He came back to the NDA alliance. So who really did? We were in the alliance that time in 2013 till 2019. We were in the alliance. So who decides that who's NDA?
Okay, so this is what they are saying. This is what the BJP is saying. This is what the JDU is saying. We just interviewed Sushil Kumar Modi a short while ago, and he said, once again, I make it clear that LJP is not part of the NDA. You accept that?
In the state, okay, I'm fine with it. They've asked me not to use the pictures. I don't need to use the pictures. Why do I need to do all this drama?
So you're not using pictures of Modi ji?
Why do I need to?
Okay.
Why do I need to? I connect with him on the ideological level. I joined hands with Bharatiya Janata Party. With Modi ji, yes, absolutely. I connect with him on the ideological level. I never...
Was he aware of all this? That when you were parting ways and going your own path, was the Prime Minister
was talking to me day and night, twice a day, every single day when Papa was in hospital, when he was in ICU. So for the past 20-25 days, definitely yes, that wasn't the time that we'll be talking about politics and alliance and stuff. But then yes, we were in touch every single day, twice a day. He used to give me a call.
But then would he have been in the loop about the fact that you were going on your own?
Well, that I don't know.
But you were in touch with him.
But I wrote a letter to him and I gave him all the details in that letter.
But Chirag, you say that ideologically you're with the BJP, but explain this, because the BJP is a party of Hindutva.
I supported BJP for Dhara 370, Article 370. I supported BJP, not Nitish Kumar ji. I supported BJP for triple talaq, not Nitish ji. I supported BJP on NRC and CA. When Nitish Kumar ji presented a bill against NRC and CA in the Vidhan Sabha here in the Bihar Assembly, so I have been supporting Bharatiya Janata Party at each and every level. So when I am in an ideological connect with Bharatiya Janata Party, I don't really need to have their picture to announce that. But if they need to announce it, if they need to shout it loud, standing on the terrace, okay, I'm okay with that. Let them go ahead. They need to use this picture more than me. I don't need to use his pictures.
Okay, but when you say that you supported the BJP on all of this, explain that, because your father comes, and I assume you also come from a different political tradition, which considered itself secular, which would have found all of these moves by the BJP extremely divisive and extremely polarizing.
So allow me to ask a counter question. Please go and ask Nitish Kumar ji that what is his comment on whatever Nityanand Rai ji said today or yesterday, I think. When he said कि अगर यहाँ पे राजद की सरकार बनेगी तो कश्मीर के सारे आतंकी यहाँ पे बना पाएंगे. So what is Nitish Kumar ji's stand?
No, so regardless of
regardless
of Nitish ji's stand, and that comment is certainly objectionable, but I'm saying this is the party that you want to see rule the state, which makes comments like that. Are you okay with that?
Well, right now I'm not in an alliance, so why do I need to comment on it then?
But you admire them and you say that no. But you admire them. You say you support them, and you support them on all these ideological platforms.
Right now, Nitish Kumar ji in an alliance with Bharatiya Janata Party in the state, and this is what they are shouting loud. So let them answer this question. Right now, I am out of this questionnaire.
Okay, so you're saying because you're not part of this, you don't have to answer to the BJP's agendas, which you say you supported. That's what I'm trying to understand.
Of course, I support. I mean, definitely yes. I mean, statement like this, I don't know from where it's coming from and why it's needed. This particular statement, I'll definitely. I mean,
but even the CA and NRC, you saw the protests all over the country.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something which is
deeply
troubled.
But why the protest? I supported
many
the
people,
government,
including minorities.
I supported the government in this issue in Parliament also, and I gave a speech in the Parliament supporting the government in this. And my stand was very, very clear. I supported the government in Article 370. I gave a speech on that in the Parliament. Okay. So my stand and my party's stand is absolutely clear. My party's stand is very clear in Ram Mandir Nirman also. Ayodhya mein Ram Mandir's Nirman, my stand is very clear. I need a clarification from our Chief Minister, because he doesn't say anything on these things. And when he says, he objects.
So what is then, because you seem to be, if you're backing the BJP on every one of its agendas, Chirag, then what does your own party stand for? I mean, are you in the threat of now getting subsumed into the BJP's agenda? Because it's not clear then what do you stand for?
Bhai, I've been fighting for my agenda only. Bihar first, Bihari first is the reason why I came out of this. Had I not been fighting for my agenda, I would have. There was a tagline, there is a tagline used by my party, and it is the tagline for the coming elections also, कि वो राज करने के लिए लड़ रहे हैं, हम बिहार पे नाज करने के लिए लड़ रहे हैं. अगर मुझे सिर्फ राज करना होता, अगर मुझे सिर्फ यहाँ पे रूल करना होता, तो आई थिंक एक रेड कारपेट बिछा हुआ था इन द एग्जिस्टिंग अलायंस. मुझे जितनी सीटें देते हैं, मुझे लगता है लोकसभा की तर्ज पर मेरा स्ट्राइक रेट भी उतना ही अच्छा रहता, जितनी लड़ता उतनी जीतता, शायद एक रिस्पेक्टेबल पोजीशन भी कमिंग गवर्नमेंट में मिलती. So you're saying it was a Bihar first, Bihari first agenda. That's what you are. But last question I want to ask you. You've been absolutely scathing about the Nitish Kumar government performance here. But you support and you admire the BJP. Not me, actually, the Biharis out here.
Okay. But it has been a joint BJP-JDU government. So how can you separate the BJP from the performance of Nitish? It's a coalition government.
I couldn't understand. What do you mean by that?
You're saying that Nitish has underperformed. He's done terrible. I mean, he's
and Bharatiya Janata Party is supporting them. So
yeah, it's an alliance.
So in a
it's
way,
an alliance
they are
government.
also
The deputy chief minister is from the BJP.
At the end of the day, who leads the group matters. Who heads it is the one who matters here. And whosoever knows the working style of Nitish Kumar ji, everybody knows that he's a single man army. He doesn't let anyone else take the decision on his behalf.
Aren't you giving a clean sheet to the BJP? The fact that deputy chief minister is from the BJP, you're saying that still doesn't mean anything?
He asks no one before taking decisions. And you can go and very well ask the ministers from his party. You can ask the ministers of Janata Dal United. They, most of the time, they are not aware about the policies that have been drafted. They are not even asked. Nitish Kumar ji doesn't trust anyone except the bureaucrats.
Okay. Strong words, Chirag Paswan. Let's see how the election pans out. But thank you very much indeed for talking to us.
Thank you. Thank you.